on a mission. He's a mission to put you into books, to get you well known, and he just loves on people. I don't endorse a lot of people. Why? You know why. Yeah. But when you find a gem that is true and wonderful and has been through it and doesn't want you to suffer, that's when you want to reach out to Mr. Emilio. I would not miss this opportunity.
Hey guys, good evening. It's not good morning, it's good evening. I'm
Good
Daniela
evening.
Roman,
Hello, I'm Mila Roman.
and we are live tonight to read another amazing co-author story from the third edition of Spiritual Fitness Survivor. And his name is Lionel Jimenez.
Lionel Jimenez with the cool hat there in the blue.
That's a cool cat.
Yes.
But before we get started,
Yes. So we want to talk about Lionel. So we're going to read his chapter today. So we're going to love on Lionel, and you're going to fall in love with Lionel if you don't know who he is already. So you know that Danielle and I are the publishers of the Spiritual Fitness Survivor edition. Actually, this is our third book. This one is dubbed the Celebrity Edition because Forbes Riley, the amazing Forbes Riley, did the forward on this. How cool is that? In fact, you just heard her in her own words that this man is on a mission. While she's referring to me, it's the mission that my wife and all of us who support the Co-author Network are on, and that is to share your story with the world. In fact, it's on our shirts. It's on the front and the back of our shirts.
if it's on our shirts, it must be true.
Hey, gotta be true. So this is what we've been doing successfully for several years now, and we just absolutely love highlighting others, especially when they have a story of transformation, of overcoming, and they have an opportunity to inspire us with their stories. But many people keep that story close to the vest. And we're like, no. Selfish of you. If you've gone through a struggle or a challenge, which most of us have, and if someone has helped you, someone has given you a hand up, it's your responsibility to pay it forward. It's happened to me. I've gotten through some things because of others, and Danielle as well. In fact, Danielle, tell people, because of what's happened to you and you've been able to come out on the other side, if you will, what are you working on? What's your project?
Yeah, so my new project is Behind Closed Doors. I survived domestic violence, and you can too. And this, has gotten a great response. It's obviously, a really hot topic. It happens, even more than we think. And I have a lot of empty pages here that I would love to fill with your story. And Amelia and I were speaking last night, and there's just so many things that come to mind after the fact, and when I wrote my story, there's some things that come up, that you didn't think about it for years. In fact, something came to mind last night. I don't know what triggered it. And Amelia was like, I don't even remember you telling me that. When I was going through my relationship and dealing with this, one incident that came to mind, and I think about for years, is, me and this person he was driving, and there was an argument and everything, and literally he reached over and opened the door and pushed me out of a moving car on a major highway. And, things like that. I've been, driving with a friend of mine, and he had someone following me, because he always had someone following me. And they tried to push my car off the road as I'm driving. And literally, I have a friend, he knows, she's 6'2", and I'm driving. And I was so, startled and scared at this moment that her and I switched while I'm driving. She switched and got in the driver's seat. I got in the passenger seat so she could continue driving and get us out of the area, because I was just too nervous. And, so it's crazy things like this that happen, and a lot of other incidents, that happen. But here I am, and I survived it, overcame. And this is what I want to tell women, these stories need to be told in order to help other women. You would think someone in a situation like that, like, oh my God, how would you ever leave him? Or he must be a dangerous or scary man. And, well, yeah, but I wasn't going to live the rest of my life that way.
Amen. No, thank you for sharing that, love. And yeah, again, we've been married for several years now, and I never heard that story. But these are the kind of things that come up when you're sharing your story and you're encouraging others, right? A lot of us, what do? The brain, to protect itself, the body, it'll hold these stories and put them in the deep recesses of our mind. And then it could be a scent, it could be a picture, it could be a sound that'll just trigger it. So she was like, so we're talking about the book because we've got a lot of people who resonated with this book. I'm just going to bring it up a little closer because of the lights. I'm noticing. I just grabbed it from Daniela because I want you to see the response that we're getting from this. People are saying, wow, behind closed doors. And again, you can read it here. I survived domestic violence and you can too. And if you look closely, it has the ribbon. And what is that significance of the ribbon and the color purple?
Yeah,
for those who don't know.
Yeah, that represents, domestic violence and, being a survivor of domestic violence. So October is Domestic Violence Month, and it honors, all survivors of domestic violence. It honors also those who weren't as fortunate as myself and other women we know, to get out alive. There's many women and Christina Vega, who has chapter 1 in our second edition of Spiritual Fitness Survivor. She has a nonprofit, Love Shouldn't Hurt. She had a very close friend that I'm really not sure if it was a husband or a boyfriend, killed her, did not make it out. Yeah. So this is why it's so important to share your story.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you, love. And this book will save lives. It's not if, it's not, so that just tap this here and let's get that back up again for the light. So, but anyway, I think we got it. We have one light down, man down. But no, we joke here, but this book here will save lives. And I'm so proud of Daniela for taking on this initiative. And Daniela, could you share, this isn't just a regular book, right? This isn't a regular book. What is going to happen with the proceeds of this book? How are you going to continue to empower women, not only by sharing their story, but what else is going on?
Yes, what we are doing is some of the proceeds from this book is going to go to various domestic violence organizations. So, we're going to donate and try to help, we want to help, these organizations that they do struggle. They get sometimes state funding or, grants or things of that nature. But, if we could, contribute to that, right, to help them do what they do and for the shelters for women and the hotlines and, right, and supporting people that, are there 24/7 to answer these calls, then we're going to do it. Yeah,
amen. Again, thank you, love. There's so many organizations out there, but you probably never heard of them, and they're not reaching, right? They need this kind of exposure. They need people talking about it. They need people on the ground, right? Because we've all heard the horror stories, and believe me, I've got friends that have lost their lives to this sort of violence. And everyone after the fact says, oh, yeah, I knew something was wrong. Yeah, I knew something was wrong. But then again, what hindsight is 2020, right? Monday morning quarterbacking is not going to save a life. So this is why Daniela came straight out and says, how I survived domestic violence, and you can too. And this guide, this is actually going to be the stories of 21 other authors, but it's also going to be a resource guide. We're going to list in the U.S. and Canada, organizations are going to be in the book here of where someone who is currently going through it can go ahead and really immediately apply it, literally with phone calls, websites. That I understand there's special text messages that you can do. There's so many things that I didn't even know that we're learning, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, they have different states have come up with ways like if you text a certain message, which has nothing to do with what's really going on, but it's a code to a resource that you're being abused at that moment, and help will be on its way. There's a lot of different things in place now, so really helpful.
Yeah, amen. Thank you, love. And you know what? I apologize because this is Lionel's chapter we're about to read, but we wanted to share before we highlighted that. We wanted to share that because of the seriousness, and because again, Daniela just yesterday reminded me of, she reminded herself, and I'd never heard of this. And I was like, you got to tell this. Two things, right? She was in a moving car and got pushed out on a major highway, and she was with her girlfriend, and she got followed by whatever this boyfriend was, and it was like a movie. She said it was
Yeah,
like
I was trying to be pushed off the road.
pushed
as
off the
I'm
road.
Driving.
You know, it was like one of these Columbo type things, right? So I mean, she survived. She when she says I survived, and you can too. She's serious, and she's got a lot of other people that she supported, like Christina Vega, who has Love Shouldn't Hurt in Philadelphia, and she's totally behind our book. So she totally love it. And again, people need to hear this. So we're going to now transition into this here. So go ahead, love. Talk about.
Yeah, well, you tell them. I'm going to read his biography. How you knew Lionel?
Yeah, so this handsome man right here with the fedora hat and the cool shades. I grew up in the Camden, New Jersey area. For those of you who are not familiar, it's an urban area, Latino, black area. And it's, the inner city, right? The inner city. So there's a lot of violence, crime back then, and there's still violence and crime today there. I want to say, should I say much hasn't changed? Yeah, there are a lot of things have changed, but crime has taken on different forms. It's kind of crazy, right? So there was a particular crime when I was growing up. Anyway, so I met Lionel in that area, and he actually dated my cousin. So we talk about, she's laughing. So he dated my cousin, and that's how I first knew him. So him and my cousin Zoe were dating, and he was a DJ, and he was Lionel's a couple of years older than I, and I always thought he was a great guy.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of us, we've got a struggle or challenge, and we hide it very well. We do a good job at smiling, and the people really got to know us. And you're about to learn more about Lionel. Hey, Pravin, what's up, brother? Thank you.
Hey, Pravin.
So as Danielle's going to read, it's not a long chapter. It's right to the point.
It is powerful, though.
Very powerful, right to the heartfelt. Emilio Roman, thank you, brother. So and Danielle Roman. So without further ado, let's just dive right into this.
Yeah, so a little bit about Lionel. Like Emilio said, he grew up in New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey area. And he's an accomplished DJ and photographer. So very gifted. And that's not even his full-time job. He has another job for many years. But he's very good. I've seen some video actually last week. He did a wedding, I believe. Yeah. He knows how to spin some records.
Yeah.
He's not literally spinning records anymore, but
he's good. He knows how to spin on turntables.
And a great photographer. So, and you can reach him. You can connect with him on Facebook or Instagram. And it's the @ DJ Leo Photography. So if you have an event coming up, you want a photographer or a DJ, or hey, I would totally encourage you to reach out.
And to add to what Dana just said before she jumps into the reading, we actually hired Lionel to come to an event where we actually Maria Serrano, which she's a co-author in, I want to say, book number 1, and she two is it? Okay, I stand corrected. And so book number 2, she has a chapter, and then she went on to do her own book, which is titled
Cutting Through the Mess.
Yep, and Daniela came up with that title for her. And why is that significant?
Why is what significant?
The cutting through the title. Why? Because she does what?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Because she cuts hair.
She cuts hair, right?
Yeah, her book cover is amazing.
Yeah,
with the scissors and it's awesome.
Yeah. So many people like Lionel, once they share their chapters here, they go on to do a book with us, and so very, very exciting. So Lionel's story.
All right.
Pay attention.
So how appropriate. Title of his chapter: A Snapshot of a Child's Trauma. I was born in the city of Camden, New Jersey, and I was raised with a dysfunctional family. They were always fighting, and it almost always turned physical. They would take out their anger on my brother and me. During one incident, I ended up with 7 stitches on my eye, and it was because they threw something and broken glass flew at my eye. Feeling so unsafe made me feel horrible, and it decimated my self-esteem. I would get beaten with a belt, garden hose, or even a plant vine that would leave whip marks on my body, including my arms. I would go to school with short sleeves, and kids in the school would see my scars and give me a hard time about it. I was bullied at school over the evidence of abuse I got at home. It was a tragic life that I had when I was a kid, and all this was happening since I was a child, being physically abused. I was also molested many times as a child, and that terrified me in ways that made me distrust who I was as a person growing up. I didn't want to have kids at all or want to be near kids because I was afraid that I will end out being the animal, treating kids the way I was treated and the way I was raised. At the age of 8, my mother ran away to New York and left me with my father. One day she came back and took us to New York to spend time with her, and I wish that was a better part of the story. It was supposed to be something nice, but being there, I was abused by the babysitter and the babysitter's kids. I was punched in the head, punched in the stomach. The abuse continued going on. Even when I went to school, I was having problems with the kids. I was being bullied, and there never seemed to be a break. One thing that I did love about New York, I was living in Brooklyn in the projects, and I just wanted to go out and have fun and play. I would get home from school and I had to take my clothes off and be in my underwear, and I would look out the window. I had no other kind of entertainment. So I would look out the window and I would see people roller skating, playing handball, paddleball, mingling, and having fun. Something that really struck me was the DJs when they were playing music. I loved the way people reacted with the music. Somehow that comforted me. It made me feel better, a little happier, for at least a little while. It somewhat erased the problems that I had in life as I stood at the window in New York until the age of 11. And from there, my mother decided to move us back to New Jersey. At the age of 14, violence continued at the house, and with the little bit of Spanish that I knew how to write, I wrote a letter to my aunt in Puerto Rico to see if she would be able to help me out over here or pick me up. I was telling her about the abuse at home, being beat up at school, and I also let her know that if I continue here, they're going to kill me. She wrote back, and she couldn't help me. I was trying to find help everywhere possible for me to just get out of the house so I could just leave. My dad read the letter, and that was another day that I got beat up so bad with a garden hose, punched, kicked, and then I was tossed into a cold basement with no clothes, no food, no water for 48 hours. For 48 hours, it was lights out. The basement was not finished, and I could smell the mold, mildew, and the copper pipes as I was there alone for 48 hours. Then they decided to bring me back up. I went straight to the bathtub. And while I was in there wet, they came in there and whooped my butt with a belt so bad it left marks on my skin. You could actually see the indentation from the belt on my skin, and in places, the skin was broken and bleeding. I was beaten not just on my butt, but my face, my neck, my back, both my arms and legs. He beat the crap out of me.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Just listening to it,
Ooh.
there's all kind of emotions for me. And I've heard this already, and I just anger. There's like this is
like how much one
yeah,
goes
yeah.
through.
So yeah, when we moved to New Jersey, my father was going to school to learn English, and the same episode continued with the babysitters and the kids beating me up again and again. I started off in a new school and was being bullied and beat up every day there too. There were times that I would run home, and while running home, I would fall and tear up my pants. It seemed that I was always wearing torn clothing. I pretty much dressed up like Elvis Presley with the grease in the hair, and at the moment, it wasn't even in style. Then my mom met a person that she decided to marry, and wow, what the hell of a life I got after that. This guy beat us up like there was no tomorrow. He used to be a fan of wrestling, and in every single move he made towards us, he was thinking about what he saw on TV. Interesting. He used these wrestling moves to beat us up, like crushing our heads against a concrete wall, the smack on the ears, and so forth. It was so bad every single day for me and my brother. I wish that I wasn't alive anymore. Think about that, folks. Is anyone out there who can relate to this type of a struggle? I tried committing suicide 3 times, but none of it worked. I would be in the bathroom trying to swallow a bunch of pills, but they would barge in. I tried to slit my wrist, and that didn't work either. At the age of 13, I decided that I needed to run away, and I stopped by gas stations along the way, asking if they were hiring, grocery stores, anything. That was like around 3:33 a.m., and my face was all busted up, bloody nose, busted lip, black eye, and I had lumps on my head. I was a mess. And everywhere I went, I was trying to get a job or something. But of course, nobody was going to hire a messed up little kid. I was just 13 years old and 13 years old and sad. It was a cold day, so I ended up walking nonstop just to stay warm because I left with the clothes that I had on my back, and I didn't stop. Back, and I didn't even grab a coat or anything. Then at the laundromat, I stopped in. Somebody noticed me all beat up, so they decided to call the police. Well, to make a long story short, I ended up right back in the same hellhole. Flash flash forward to today, and my life isn't too bad. I'm a professional photographer and have a pretty good life. Wow. It has its ups and downs. COVID-19 dealt me some blows with illness, and needless to say, photographers were in great demand during a global pandemic. But that's improving now too. I guess you can always hope. Oh, you can always keep hope alive as long as you keep dreaming and working hard. So that's the end. A very short chapter, but not to be discounted with the impact that his childhood experiences left him. And today, Lionel is very successful. He's got a career spanning of 25 years. He does a professional trade, but she didn't include in the book, so I won't say it. But he's a professional trade, and he does DJing and photography, and he's exceptional at it. We've hired him. We work with him. And again, so if you guys are looking to connect with Lionel, connect with Lionel at Instagram at DJ Leo Photography. So you guys can go ahead and connect with Lionel. He's on Facebook, and he'll get back to you. He's a very, very, very busy guy, very family oriented. And now I have a deeper understanding of where that family commitment comes from, because of what he went through, and he doesn't want anyone else to suffer and go through that. Lionel, again, our hat goes off to you. We salute you. You are truly, truly a survivor. And I tell you, heart for our brother. Much love, much love. What do you take away from that?
My goodness. Well, my heart goes out to him. My goodness. Like, even though, he's a grown man now and married, and it's amazing how things that happen in your childhood affect, your future, because like he said in the chapter, he's like, he never wanted to have kids because for fear of treating his kids. And I understand, like, he doesn't have kids. So what a shame, because you know what? He's such a great, sweet guy. I know he would have made an amazing father, because he would not have been, that. But I think the fear just stopped him from having kids, and that's sad.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And a shout out to Daphne Taylor Street. She's on there. She really is the project manager on his book. She did an outstanding job. And Daphne says, challenging story to read emotionally, but what a story of triumph. Amen.
Yeah, it was difficult to read. I was holding back.
Yeah, it was one of the shortest. He has one of the shortest chapters, but I feel like one of the most impactful chapters, because I read it. This is my second time reading this. The first time I read it, I was like, because we know Lionel, but he's never shared that with us publicly. Because when you see him, he's laughing. Yeah. He likes to dance salsa.
He's a very humble, simple, quiet guy. He's always like, he'll say hi and talk to you, like a couple of things we were at, like our retreat and stuff, but then he kind of just stays back and observes, you know? He's that
very
kind of guy,
So again, Daphne, thank you, Daphne, for working with all of us. Yeah, Daphne, shout out to her. She helped bring Lionel's story. She took his message and put it on paper, so it's fantastic. Yeah, heartfelt. I mean, again, when the back of the book, which is known as the blurb, I'm going to read it to you guys, and then we're going to end this here soon. I want you to tell you, this is the truth. The Spiritual Business Survivor Edition features 22 award-winning authors with different yet similar stories to share. Stories of pain, struggle, and courage. Stories that will make you angry, cry, laugh, but in the end, all have survived life's most unthinkable challenges. They say books change people, and people change the world. Your life will never be the same again after reading these real-life stories. Be prepared to become inspired and even transformed, as the authors have all learned. Their strength today has come from their struggles. We cannot heal in secret. Unknown, that quote. So this is the back of the book. And how true with Lionel, right? How true with Lionel that it made me angry reading his story, because who the hell can do this to a child, right? And he's 13 years old. He's So anyway, shout out for Lionel for accepting our invitation, and then just going out and be able to put this forward to help someone. Amazing. Looks like Daphne is also saying, very true. It didn't need one more. It didn't need one more weird to have a profound word. Oh yeah, one more word. Yeah, that's right. Daphne said it didn't even need one more word to make it profound. Like, just the way it is. It was like, again, the shortest chapter, I believe, but the one that left me kind of like, wow, gasping and going, wow.
I don't think I could have read anymore. I think what
Yeah.
you put was enough,
Yeah.
you know, to get the message. Yeah.
Yeah. So amazing, amazing. Tracy Random. Hello, you two. Beautiful souls. Thank you.
Hey,
Another one of our beautiful co-authors out of upstate New Jersey, right?
North Jersey.
North Jersey. She's also known as the Reset Coach. Love it. Love it. The Reset Coach. You guys got to check her out. Yeah. She's amazing. Met her funny in Canada and come
find out she's from Jersey.
Come to find out she's part of she lives in my own backyard.
Find out she's in our backyard.
All right, guys and gals, we really appreciate you. Please love, like, and share this with others. We are really very committed to our co-authors, and I'll share this with you. There many people are doing co-authorship books, right? There's no question about that, and many more will wind up doing it. But here is what Les Brown, former CEO, Al Blaze out of Canada, what did he say about the co-authorship that we're doing?
Yeah, he said a lot of people are doing co-authorships, but no one is doing it like Emilio is.
Right, and so while I thank him for saying that no one is doing it the way Emilio is, he really speaks of me, my wife, and my team, right? So I was honored when I heard it. He said that publicly again. As Al Blaze, the former CEO, former manager from Canada, we all know the #1 motivational speaker, Les Brown. So we are really every time trying to even surpass what we did last. We did the first book launch, which was at a little Mexican restaurant in Woodbury, right? And people loved it. We had Harlem Globetrotters. People came from Canada. People flew in from Costa Rica, Sweden. And then we took that one. I'm getting goosebumps. Then we took the second edition and upped it up. FYI, I paid $300 for that launch. The first launch. Then we upped it up. We paid $3,000 for 3 hours. That launch was incredible. And now we have this launch because of where we're at with the pandemic. We're going to go big.
We are paying $3. No, I'm just kidding.
No, so we're going to go ahead with this launch. And it's going to be on Zoom.
Yeah.
And tell people how can they get access to become part of this third edition launch, July 17th at noon.
Yeah, if you want to be a part of the third edition book launch, July 17th, 12 noon, like Emilio said. This book, the third edition, will be available on Amazon very soon. Should be in a couple of days or so. Purchase the third edition. Send proof of that to Emilio or myself. And you can join us VIP at our book launch, virtual book launch, July 17th. It's going to be fun. We're going to have all the co-authors, just help celebrate, show them how special they are, and, for sharing their stories. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So buy the book. Yeah,
get the book. Take when we put the book up, we're obviously going to let you know. And we have our author affiliates throughout the country. They're out there working. So we're only going to have 100 dedicated lines for the Zoom. So when you buy the book, you take a snapshot of the Amazon purchase. You send it to us either at the co-author network info at gmail.com or through via messenger, whatever's easier. Once we get that, we're going to send you the Zoom link. We already have Giselle. She's amazing. She does our social media. So if you see a lot of the graphics and all the wonderful things, sharing the message has nothing to do with me because I don't know how to do that.
Me neither.
But we have a great team of people who we're working with. And we're always looking, by the way, we're always looking for people that want to partner up with us. So if you write, if you do social media content, connect with us. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. We have so many projects that are up and coming. And now especially the borders are open up. We can't wait for Canada to officially open up because we've got so many co-authors in book 1, 2, and 3. In fact, if we had to say, how many are in this from Canada?
4.
4 in this one. The first book, I think we had.
The first book had at least 6.
At least 6.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Second book, I don't recall, but I'm sure there was a handful. So, yeah, we have quite a few.
Yes, so we're going to be going to Canada.
I already have 2 from Canada in this book.
There you go.
Yeah, so we have a lot of Canadian friends.
Yeah, we have a lot of Canadian friends, which are friends and co-authors. And once the borders open up, we expect that we're going to be there at least every 90 days. We're going to be there because we have a nice crowd there, and we're looking to continue to expand our brand. So you want to end it with anything?
Yeah, just now a lot of you co-authors, if you're not on here, I'm going to tag you. Watch the replay. Your book should have arrived by now. Quite a few have, and if you have seen, like our co-author Daryl here, DJ Milk D, this cool dude right here.
Yep.
Jessica Bustamante Soto down here, our beautiful co-author.
Yes.
They have gone on, and I know we had shared, don't open the box. Well, guess what? Open the box because things changed up, So when you receive your book, just, I know you're excited. Come on and alive just for a minute or two and share your excitement. Show the book. Let people know that it will be available on Amazon soon to purchase. And the book launch, July 17th, 12 noon. If they want to join, gotta get the book.
Hey, very exciting. We're so blessed. Again, thank you, Daphne, for showing up. Thank you, Tracy, for showing up. Thank you, Dr. PPP. Hey. He's out of Canada. He's amazing. Yes. He's actually in the Guinness Book of World Record. He calls me the energetic, electrifying Emilio. Hashtag EEE.
Yella Diva.
Oh, yeah. So listen, we love Dr. PPP. We're in the Guinness Book of World Records together. And again, we have a strong Canadian network. So, guys, love you guys.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Take care.
Becoming a part of the co-author network not only has given me a platform to share my story, it has given me the ability to voice my journey, voice my story so that I can empower others to do the same.
Not only is he great at the publishing and doing the book, the support and tips that he gives you along the way are amazing.
I had been planning for a long time to share my story with everyone and the world of overcoming traumas. And then the next thing I know, I just opened my hands up and guess who jumped in them? Emilio Roman.